friends, and welcome to Looking at the Markets with David Modell. Today I'm going to give you some general thoughts on when I like to place a trade, when I like to make trades. I found a chart that really explains it pretty well, and towards the end I'm going to give you a couple of general thoughts and charts on gold, the price of gold, because I'm pretty excited about that. All right, and by the way, if you would like more help with trading or investing, if you'd like some help with putting together your own trading or investing plan, because you really ought to have a plan if you plan on being successful, then you can email me for coaching. I do offer the coaching. You can email me at davidmodell@gmail.com. All right, let's get into this. Yeah, I found this chart, and it really summarizes pretty well when I like to enter a trade. Now, before you enter a trade, you want to determine what the trend is. Because the trend really is your friend, okay? So before you trade, decide, is the trend generally upwards, and that would be bullish, or generally downwards, and that would be bearish, or is it just kind of what I call sloppy choppy, meaning it's just kind of going sideways, just chopping around, non-directionally, just going sideways. All right, so if the trend is bullish, then you have to ask yourself a question. Is the price at a support level? In other words, is it overall bullish, but then it dipped down to a support level where it's been before? It's been there previously, at least once or twice or 3 times. The more times, the better. That makes it a stronger support level, the more times it's been down to that support level. If yes, that could be a good time to buy, to take a long position. Now, this does not work 100% of the time, okay? I cannot make any guarantees. You have to make your own decisions. But that's a nice time to buy, at least sometimes. It has worked for me. And you can use other information, other data, other confirmation, just to be sure. And again, this does not work every time. Now, if the trend is bullish, but it has not dipped down to a support level of any sort, then no, don't trade at that point. Again, you make your own choices, but you can choose not to trade at that point. You can be patient. You can wait until it dips down to support in an overall bullish trend. Now, what if the trend is bearish? It's going down, generally speaking, okay, but then it goes up to a resistance point. Can you take a short position or a sell? Can you go sell side with it, so to speak? Can you take a short position or sell your existing shares? Well, if it's gone up to a support level in an overall bearish trend, then that could be a good point to sell or even take a short position. But please be careful with shorting, because you can actually lose more capital than you have in your trading account or investing account. So please be careful with shorting. And if it's not at a resistance point of any sort, then you could just stay out of it. You can just choose not to trade at all, and that's not a bad idea. Now, if the trend is just sideways, if it's just kind of sloppy and choppy and non-directional, then personally, I usually just tend to be patient and just wait for a breakout or breakdown to make any decisions as far as taking a long or short position, buying or selling. Now, perhaps you could make an exception if you're an options trader. If a stock that normally moves pretty well is in a really tight range and is just going sideways for a long time, and that tension is building, so to speak, then it might be due for a breakout to the upside or breakdown to the downside. And so that might be a time to choose to buy a straddle or strangle if it's selling cheaper than usual, because volatility levels are really understated. Volatility levels are low. Even then, the call and put options might be still overpriced, because they tend to be overpriced. But if they're cheaper than usual and you're expecting a breakout because it's in a really tight range, maybe you're looking at the Bollinger Bands and they're really, really tight, they're really, really squeezed, maybe then sideways price action might be a signal to make a move. But if it's just stocks, let's say, or cryptocurrencies or whatever, and you're not dealing with options, then sideways usually is not a signal to do much of anything in most cases. And of course, there are exceptions. So those are my general thoughts on when I buy and when I might go short or just sell a long position. All right, and I promised a couple of gold charts. Here is a daily chart of gold, and talk about bouncing off of a support level in an uptrend, right? We talked about that here. If it's bullish, but it's at support, that could be a buy signal. And here's an example. I mean, imagine if you had bought in this overall, and this is a daily candlestick chart for the price of gold against the US dollar. And if you had bought at any of these support levels in the overall uptrend, you would have done pretty well if you just held on. And could there be another one coming up in the future? Maybe, because you also have what could be considered a bull flag or pennant overall, or perhaps a falling wedge, and those are both bullish continuation patterns, generally speaking, especially if it breaks out. Okay, again, no guarantees here, but this is a pretty good example. And by the way, here is a weekly chart of gold with a rounding bottom pattern. Also tends to be bullish in nature. Just thought I would show you those because those are pretty exciting if you're into gold. But more importantly for this lesson, this is a pretty textbook example of when I might buy something if the overall trend is up, but it's at a support level. Okay, so I hope this was helpful to you to give you an idea of when I like to buy and when I might like to sell. So again, if you're looking for the coaching for your trading or investing and help with putting together a plan, you can email me at davidmodell@gmail.com. If you like this video, if you found it helpful, if you gained some insights, then let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. Please let me know. And if you give it a thumbs up, if I get a lot of thumbs up, that lets me know that you guys and gals like these kinds of videos and want to see more of them. And also you can leave a comment. Let me know if this was helpful and what are your thoughts. And if you haven't subscribed yet, why not do that right now? Hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell on YouTube so that YouTube can notify you whenever I put out a new video like this one. Hey, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you again soon.